What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Humans. Do you think I'm old? Back out with another review. And today we are continuing our... What is happening with my hair right now? I apologize. We are continuing our Jurassic review series. For those who do not know what that is the 3 Jurassic Park movies and the 4 Jurassic World movies, including the newest film, Jurassic World Rebirth, which you should be seeing a review for that later tonight. And this will all be culminating in a big ranking that I have planned tomorrow with all the films. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number 1, it's absolutely free. Number 2, also maybe help the YouTube algorithm. And I recommend the video to more people, and maybe they could join. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion down below. But that being said, guys, the grind to yes, as you heard me say, I am reviewing Jurassic World Dominion here today. So, with that being said, before we get into the actual beginning of the review itself, guys, let's give a quick plot synopsis of the film, shall we? So, transition to Zemia.
4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with history's most fearsome creatures.
So with Jurassic World Dominion, this is a film that on this most recent rewatch, this is a film that I've only seen 4 times, I believe. Once was in the theater, then once was when we got it on physical media, then I rewatched it again in my room one night, and then I rewatched it again yesterday, of course, building up to Jurassic World Rebirth. And when I saw it the first time, it was, an interesting time. It was, when I saw it, I think I was more positive on it because that was a very, very crap day for me. For those who do not know, I actually saw Jurassic World Dominion the day that my dog actually passed away, so not the best circumstances to see this movie, but, I ended up seeing it later that night, and basically said, maybe this will cheer me up. And to its credit, it did. It definitely helped me. It definitely helped lighten my mood up just a tiny bit. But then, when I rewatched it a couple times at home, I was going like, okay, I still like it, but there's a lot of flaws here. So, on this most recent rewatch, what did I think about it? Did my thoughts on this film change, or did I basically just keep the same thoughts? Alright. So going into the good here, I think the thing that I most enjoy about this film is the old cast return. Of course, with that being Ellie Sattler, Ian Malcolm, and Alan Grant, the big 3 returning, which it was cool to see all of them back together on screen yet again, and they have some pretty good moments throughout the whole entire film. Which kind of brings me to my next positive. I do enjoy that the legacy characters in here get to interact with some of our current characters. Well, current characters at the time in this franchise. So it was cool to see, for example, Alan Grant and Owen Grady talking to each other. It was cool to see Ellie and Claire talking to each other, so those were cool little moments in there to see them interacting with our current cast. So I did enjoy those parts of the movie as well. Another thing in here is the comedy that you have in here. I thought the comedic moments in here actually were quite funny. Most of them coming from Ian Malcolm, of course. Actually got a couple of chuckles out of me after rewatching this, because Ian Malcolm is very, very... Jeff Goldblum is very, very funny as Ian Malcolm. I think the action sequences in here as well are quite decent, as usual with most of the Jurassic films in this franchise. Like, even the ones that I don't like Fallen Kingdom and The Lost World, there's some pretty decent action sequences, and the same goes for this here. Another positive I actually have is a new character that they introduced in here, the character of Ramsey. I thought he was quite interesting, and there was a couple of things in here that I was going, okay, I like this new character, which... even though this film felt overstuffed, which we'll get to it later, I actually liked him as a new addition to this franchise. So it was cool. I think he was a decent enough character to add into the plot here. And the final good I have in here is the CGI. The CGI in all of the newer Jurassic World movie, or the newer Jurassic movies, I should say, are definitely really, really good. Especially its best in Jurassic World, but in here, the CGI as well is still really, really good here, and it's hardly noticeable that it's CGI, and they do a good job of making it look realistic. But that's the good done. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects. Number one thing to talk about in here is Dodson as a villain. So, when it was, I cannot speak. When it was announced he was the main villain of Jurassic World Dominion, I was going, okay, that's kind of cool.
Because we never got resolved whatever happened with the whole entire Barbasol can with all the dino DNA in it that Dennis Nedry had. To me, Dodson just came off as generic, and also he felt kind of emotionless, the actor he was being played by.
Another mixed aspect that you have in here is John Woo's redemption arc in here. I thought that was really odd at the end of the film, where they tried to make him actually end up being a good guy at the end. I thought that was very, very weird, how it's so sudden. I don't know. I thought that was just odd placement in this film. But I'm like 50-50 on it, because he is a very... even though he's a bad person in the first few films, he's a very interesting character. So, kinda, I'm glad they gave him a redemption arc, but still, eh. Another mix I have in here is the fan servicey moments. So, as I talked about with the last two films, the fan servicey moments at times felt a little forced, especially with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. In here, there's some moments of fan service that I was going, okay, that's cool. For example, Owen and Alan Grant actually communicating with each other, I talked about loosely earlier. Then I also talked about the whole entire Barbasol can thing, hinting at that with Dodson. I thought that was cool. So, there are some fan servicey moments where I was going, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then there was some just like the last two films that felt forced. So it was pretty much 50-50 with that. Another mix I have is the introduction of Beta. So for those who do not know who Beta is, that is actually Blue's daughter, Blue's child in this film that they introduce. And it's not even in the film a whole lot, but I thought it was interesting that Blue had a child. So, but still, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. And then another mixed aspect, which originally I would put in the negative, but on this most recent rewatch, I think it didn't affect me as much, and that is the length of the film. Originally, going into this rewatch, I thought I was going to be bored, because this is, I believe, the longest Jurassic film. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I was going, oh, this is gonna bore me, ain't it? But actually, the length of the film was fine. It entertains me decently enough, but still felt as if some scenes could have been taken out of this film. That is the mix done. Now let's move on to the bad. Number one thing in here, which I was massively disappointed by the first time I saw this,
was the main dinosaur villain that you have in here, the Giganosaurus, because the whole entire marketing campaign was saying, oh, this is the biggest carnivore ever, and he had a historic rivalry with the T-Rex. However, they take out the scene that was important to their rivalry. So it ended up being my least favorite dinosaur villain.
Heard me talk about her a little bit earlier, but the underutilization of Blue in here. Blue is not in this film a whole entire lot. She's just basically at the beginning of the film and at the ending of the film. Which, rewatching this, I just found odd, because in the last two films, Blue was a key part of each of them. And in the last film of Fallen Kingdom, they clearly state that she's one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet, and they don't keep her as a main part of Jurassic World Dominion. Why? That's just odd to me. Way too many characters in here is another negative. I think issue 2 is way too many of them survived at the end. I was going, dang, that's a lot of characters to be keeping alive at the end of this film for the final film in this franchise, but whatever. Maisie as a character in this as well, I wasn't a fan of, because In the first film, I thought she was okay. Like, I thought she was a rootable enough character. Rootable enough. I cannot speak. She was a character that you rooted for enough in the first film, but even though there was a lame reveal with her character in that. And then here, she becomes a stereotypical, oh, I'm just gonna do what my elders don't want me to do all the time. And it kind of got on my nerves, and I don't know why they did that much of a drastic character change with her in this film. It just bothered me. I was going, why did you make her such an unlikable character in this one? Another one, so I said already way too many characters. In this film, you have way too many ideas. I mean, there's plenty of ideas in here that possibly could lend itself to a bunch of other sequels down the road as well, but they said, no, we're just gonna all stuff it in this whole entire movie. So I was good. So feels overstuffed. Final negative of the movie, the biggest one that everybody talks about, including myself. Why locusts? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
It's an oddball, too, because the last film, Fallen Kingdom, even though I don't like that film, the way it ends leads perfectly into this film. It makes a perfect plot for this film. But what do? Instead of focusing on dinosaurs roaming on the earth, they talk about locusts. Locusts, and have spy espionage in here. Why? You had a clear plot right there, and you go for, oh, let's talk about bugs, because why not, you know? Even though it seems as if I'm ranting right now, I still do like this movie. I want to make that clear. I do like this film. I don't think it deserves all the hate it got, but for the negative issues that most people have with this film, including the locust stuff, I completely understand. I'm there with you. But do I think, personally, it's one of the worst Jurassic film? No. Do I think it's a bad film? No. I like this film. Do I think it's all the way good? No. And also, is it a perfect conclusion to the first two Jurassic trilogies? Absolutely not. It was definitely, even though I ended up walking out liking this movie the first time I watched it, I did feel disappointed for this being the final chapter with all these characters from the original two trilogies. But, with that being said, let's bring out the toxic meter. And I'm going to give this a toxic goodness, a B-. Even though I was ranting so hard in the end there, where it made it seem like I was probably going to give this in a toxic disappointment range, I still enjoyed this film. I don't hate it. So, yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this film down below. Be sure to stay tuned in for later today as well, where I will be posting my Superman the movie review and my Jurassic World Rebirth review. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace out.